So you clicked on this video because you want to know what Gloryhammer's lore is. Well, okay. First off, don't expect any good ending skills because this is all done in one take and off script after the first album. So heads up on that. Point is, this is well researched. I've looked through like the albums, the lyric booklets, the wiki, a whole lot of the wiki, various Reddit posts from the band's members. They're, especially the drummer. The drummer's really like on the Reddit a lot. Anyways, so let's just start it. Let's just start this. No point. So like millions, maybe billions, but I think actually like 10,000 years before the founding of Dundee, we'll get to what Dundee is. The Star Lords of Eternity, basically gods, they were fighting some big evil dude. We don't know who the big evil dude is yet. Maybe it's Corveliath. We'll see. I don't know. Point is, they made 3 epic weapons to fight this guy. 1, the Knife of Evil. It, as the name would suggest, it turns people evil if you stab them with them. 2, the Hammer of Glory. It's a hammer and it's glorious. So yeah. And 3, the Vorpal Laser Blaster Epitome. It's a laser gun. Point is, after defeating this evil guy, they lost train of thought. After defeating this evil guy, they put these weapons in a really just backwater planet, some random middle of nowhere spot, all in the same exact spot in Scotland on Earth. So no possibility that anyone's going to like find all 3 of them. When you put them all in the same exact geographic spot, like within like 100 miles of each other, or kilometers, I came in, put them all within the same geographic area, zero likelihood that anyone's going to get all 3 of them. So, anyways, first album, actually not yet the first album, in 0 AD, that is, I should mention the dating system is BD is before Dundee, AD is after Dundee, before and after the founding of Dundee. Point is, 0 AD in Alchtermuchty, or where Dundee will eventually be, there's just like a peasant just like weaving some baskets like in a field. Then anyway, some soldiers show up and are like, hey, so like this like hero like Dundax, he wants to like build a city like right on top of your house. So get out. So that's obviously not good for this guy. So this guy, he's named Zargothrax, by the way. He leaves, forges a pact with the elder god Corveliath of the 18th Hell Dimension. Corveliath's like, hey, okay, I'll make you immortal and give you magic ability as long as you like do something for me in the next album. Eventually, we'll get to that eventually. Now, basically, Zargothrax, he's like, okay, I'm gonna bring ruin upon Dundee and the line of Dundax, as foretold in the prophecy of Anstruther. Dundee will fall. That's exactly a prophecy of Anstruther. Anyways, so, and also I should mention, like about like 800 or so years later, he finds the Knife of Evil just like sitting in a bog, not exactly a high security area, and begins using it during this time to corrupt a bunch of unicorns. So, first album, Tales from the Kingdom of Fife. It's in 992 AD. So Dundee is ruled by Prince Angus MacFife and his wife, girlfriend, IDK man, Princess Iona McDougal. So Zargothrax, with those unicorns he was corrupting earlier, he goes and like invades Dundee, captures the princess, freezes her in liquid ice. And liquid ice, it's just something that sounds cool. So much of the stuff in this band is it sounded cool. It has no meaning. So don't really think about it. It's liquid ice. That's the end of it. So, point is, Angus cannot fight these, so he retreats. But he at some point has a dream, a vision, where he sees himself wielding the Hammer of Glory atop a magic dragon wearing an amulet. So he's like, okay, I must get these in order to defeat Zargothrax. So basically, he goes and just finds the Hammer of Glory. The Star Lords of Eternity really did not do a good job hiding these things. He just goes and just gets this weapon of ultimate power. So then he goes to Strathclyde to just get a dragon, IDK man. I guess that's just where they sell them. So he gets this dragon, And then he finds the Amulet of Justice. That's an amulet he saw. The Amulet of Justice. It's significant because it is the one singular artifact in the universe that can undo the effects of the Knife of Evil. So, you get stabbed with the knife. The friend of yours gets stabbed with the Knife of Evil. They turn evil. Well, I don't know, just like hit him over the head with the Amulet of Justice or something. Boom, they're good now. So, yeah, that's why he uses it. But now, at this point, now that he's acquired these, he still can't go against Zargathrax alone. He needs help. So he goes and gets the Knights of Krail. They are significant because they have never lost a single battle that they've been in. I was also mentioned the Grandmaster of the Knights of Krail is named Sir Prelicious. A bunch of the recurring characters are just the members of the band. So yeah, so Prelicious. Anyways, so he goes and gets them. They've never been defeated and certainly never will. Wink, wink. So after that, he then is like, well, how do I get into Dundee? Because I can't just like walk through the front door. So then a mysterious hermit comes out and is like, okay, well, the hermit. I should mention the hermit sexuality is unconfirmed. He did not come out as gay. Unscripted. So this hermit, he like appears and is like, hey, I can get you through like the dwarven caverns beneath Dundee, so that you can like get in, like get Zargathrax. So they follow him. I should also mention at some point they also acquire a Hootsman, IDK man. He just kind of shows up in the last song of the album. There's no getting him. He's just like, oh, the Hootsman's here now. But okay, he's from Unst. He's barbarian warrior king, but whatever. We'll get back to him in the next album. Next album, he is really important. Anyway, so they sneak through the caverns beneath Dundee, sneak up on Zargathrax because he wasn't expecting them. And through a bit of a fight, they're like, we're going to defeat him once and for all. And then he falls into a pit of liquid ice and freezes. So he's not defeated at this point. He's just like frozen. Point is, they free princess. They free the princess, whatever her name was, and then use the Amulet of Justice to free the undead, to give life again to the unicorns. They're back. Okay, that's the end of the first album. So now for the in between, because the next album's in 1,000 years. So like year after Zargathrax, I guess they carved the block of ice he was frozen in. They pulled that out, moved it to the fortress of Krail, because the knights have never been defeated. They're the best people to protect Zargathrax. Now, anyways, fast forward to 1992, just 1,000 years later, just because. Actually, wait, no, I should key plot point. Somewhere in between 992 and 1992, Angus MacFife V looks up at the stars and is like, wait, that's space. And then subsequently his subsequent descendants begin to colonize space. Now, space 1992. This is where I'm going off album now. Off script. I am technically going off of the album, but I told you this is unscripted, so. Space 992 starts off with the Chaos Wizards. They show up. It's never explained who they are. Chaos Wizards. They show up, immediately demolish the Knights of Krail, who are guarding Zargathrax on the moon Triton, a fortress on the moon Triton in space. So the Knights of Krail are defeated. Like only one of them survives. I should mention Prelicious is like long dead at this point. He died like of like old age after the first album. So that's not good. Zargathrax is free again, and as anyone who's ever woken up early on a Monday has said, he's like, I'm going to destroy the universe. Same, Zargy, same. Point is, okay, Zargathrax. I'll follow Zargathrax, and then I'll follow Angus and all the people. So Zargathrax, he goes and is like, okay, well, to destroy the universe, I must summon Corveliath. That was what he asked me to do, like 2,000 years ago. So I'm gonna summon him, but for summoning him, I must do it like in the Dwarven Caverns to meet Dundee. But I need a crystal key. But that crystal key is with the Goblin King of the Darkstorm Galaxy. Not sure how Zargafrax knows that the Goblin King has that. The point is, he goes, gets that crystal. He goes like, hey, I'm going to destroy the universe. And the Goblin King's like, ooh, cool. Gives him the crystal. He goes back to Dundee. We'll get back to that in a minute. That's Zargafrax, this album. Now, Angus. We're at Angus McFife the 13th. Quite the jump from 1 to 13. Angus McFife the 13th. He sees this happening. He's like, okay, well, I need to gather up some heroes. So he gets the Hootsman, who, I should mention, the Hootsman, he really likes doing stuff for, like, fame reasons. So he goes and, like, sometime after the first album, he went, like, across the sea, founded Hollywood, became a film star, King of California, all that. Yeah. So Angus goes, gets the Hollywood Hootsman, and is like, okay, hey, I might need you for this fight. Like, yeah, Zargafrax is totally gonna fight like his whole demon horde, the goblins, maybe some robots above the skies of Mars. That's where we're gathering. So, Zargafrax. Wait, no. So, okay, now Angus is now like, okay, well, now I need the Knights of Crail. But they were demolished. Prelicious is long dead. So he goes and gets them reincarnated as, like, holograms. Except for that one guy that I mentioned who did survive. I'm pretty sure he's still alive. But point is, now we got Knights of Crail. So, let me see, who else is there? Okay, so then now, from here, he's like, okay, let's also get the Quest Lords of Inverness. They'll be very important. They play a very major role in the last song. So, yeah. So he gets Quest Lords of Inverness. They're Quest Lords from Inverness. That's title. So then basically, okay, now they go and gather in the skies above Mars. They're ready to fight. Now, this is Apocalypse 1992, last song of this album. So they're gathering. They're fighting above Mars. And now, train of thought. So they're fighting above Mars. All that's happening. I should also mention there are the Dwarves of Aberdeen. They'll be important in the album that has not yet come out as of the recording of this video. Plans. The Dwarves of Aberdeen are there. They get, like, demolished. The Quest Lords of Inverness are also there, and then the Chaos Wizards, like, detonate an infinity bomb and wipe them out of existence. As in, like, one moment they existed, the next moment, if you asked anyone about the Quest Lords of Inverness, they'd think you just made up a character. They were erased from ever existing. So yeah, that's their role. Anyways, so then they're all, like, fighting above Mars, and then that hermit from earlier, or technically that hermit from earlier, I'll get to his lore like midway through Return to the Kingdom of Five. So that's fourth album. We're in the second album. So this hermit, he shows up and is like, hey, Angus, Zargafrax is, like, in the caverns beneath Dundee. He's, like, about to destroy the universe. So Angus is like, well, I can't get there. So this man, like, shoots over to Earth, and guess what? He's a cyborg now. So he goes and blows up his heart, cracking Earth in half, which not ideal for anyone living on Earth. So he cracks it in half. That stops Zargafrax's ritual, but it was midway through, so it tears open a rift between realities. Zargafrax, in some way, maybe his essence or, like, his whole self, I don't know, will figure this out at the next, and when their newest album comes out, when Space 1993 comes out. So, point is, Zargafrax escapes in the Terror Vortex. The Hootsman's soul escapes into the Terror Vortex, is pulled into the Terror Vortex also, and Angus, seeing Zargafrax just leave after doing all that, Angus goes in after him. So that's Space 1992 for you. So, Terror Vortex now. Into the Terror Vortex. Wait, was it? Legends from Beyond the Galactic Terror Vortex. Third album. Okay, so I should go over each of the three people who went in. The Hootsman, his soul ended up at the very beginning of the Terror Vortex. Like, this is the timeline. Very start of it, very end of it. He ended up all the way over here. Gets woven into the fabric of reality, and he's a god now. Zargathrax gets put about here. That's like about 992, around the time that the first album takes place. But he shows up, begins. He shows up. He has the Knife of Evil by this point. He shows up, begins, like corrupting Dundee. He stabs Sir Peletius with the Knife of Evil. So now they are the Death Knights of Krail, and they serve Zargathrax now. And basically, their whole thing, they're just killing peasants in Auchtermuchty. That is all they do. So then Angus shows up while they're besieging Dunkeld, and is like, this is not ideal. But point is, I have the Hammer of Glory. I can just hit Zargathrax, then be done. So he goes to do that, and the hammer has no power. In this, because I should mention, it's powered by the light. It's powered by the power of a star from whatever universe it's in. So if you have it in its home universe, it's powered by a star from that universe. If you take it into a different universe, it doesn't have the power of a star in this universe. So it's just a big hammer. It's just a hammer, not really a hammer of glory, just a hammer. So so Angus has to retreat after that, and in a neat reversal of the first album, I should mention the first album, Zargathrax comes from the lands of the unicorns, crosses the River Tay, and invades Dundee. Angus gets the help of the Knights of Krail. But in this album, Zargathrax invades Dundee with the corrupted Knights of Krail, so Angus must go over the River Tay to the land of unicorns to get help from the unicorns. So just neat reversal there. Cool. Anyway, so Angus, he goes to the land of unicorns. He finds Ralithor, who's that hermit from earlier. I'll get to his lore in a bit. He's the most confusing character in the lore for whatever reason. They're like, hey, let's just make him the most confusing character. He's also the drummer of the band. I should mention I'm a drummer, so I'm kind of partial to drummers. Anyways, point is, he goes to the land of unicorns, finds the Forces of Justice there. There's also a submarine there. We'll get to that one. That thing's kind of cool. Point is, Ralithor's like, you will need the Hammer of Glory to defeat Zargathrax, but you need the light of a star. How do you get the light of a star when you're, on the ground? The magic legendary jetpack, or whatever it's called. Point is, he goes, gets this jetpack, flies into space, captures the light of a star inside the hammer, and comes down back to Akhnashin, the Valley of the Unicorns. He goes there. Now, the Force of Justice, they all gather for the epic battle, epic final battle. This determines the fate of reality, given Zargathrax has uncovered some scrolls that tell of an upcoming solar conjunction, and he'll be able to use his powers at that solar conjunction to make himself a god, at which point that's the end of this universe and anyone living in it. So they go and get into this submarine that I mentioned earlier. That's DSS Hoot Force. I'm assuming Dundee some ship. Point is, Hoot's Force, you think, it's a nuclear submarine. Okay, so it floats. No, it's a space submarine, because why not? Because that's so much cooler. Anyway, so Hoot's Force gets up. They go fly to Cowdenbeath. That's where the epic battle is happening. So they go to Cowdenbeath. Death Knights of Krail are killing peasants in Auchtermuchty. I don't know why. I guess Auchtermuchty and Cowdenbeath the same place. I don't know. Point is, killing a bunch of peasants there. So then they're all doing that. Force of Justice aren't doing great. So Ralithor, in charge of DSS Hoot's Force, he fires his final defense and eradicates the Knights of Krail, just vaporize them with a nuke. So they are defeated for the second. So here they are, the undefeatable Knights, defeated for the second time in this band's discography. That won't be the only time. Point is, Ralithor, they're all done. Angus, he's fighting Zargathrax, but things are not going well. And then, from the deep recesses of space, the Hootsman shows up. He's god of this universe. Him and Angus fight Zargathrax and kill Zargathrax once and for all. He is dead. No more Zargathrax. peace forevermore. But in the final struggle, Angus MacFife XIII was stabbed with the knife of evil, and knowing that he will soon turn evil, he makes the final sacrifice and throws himself into a volcano. It's Scottish. I don't know how to pronounce it, like Shechalia or something. I don't know. Point is, he throws himself into a volcano. That's the end of the third album. The fourth album will come up in a moment. Now, if you take another band's discography, Angus MacFife XIII does, in another, like somewhere else in the multiverse, he gets reincarnated as Angus McSix. I'm not going to cover Angus McSix's discography and story. Point is, they're still a great band. You should check them out. Anyways, now Zargathrax, I should mention, back when he took over Dundee, back during the first album, he cloned himself a couple of times and set one of those clones, Alpha 1, to awake should he, in any universe, be killed. So Zargathrax is killed in the Terror Vortex, and across time and space, a message is sent to awaken Zargathrax clone Alpha 1, with the assignment to destroy Dundee. So this is now the fourth album, taking place, well, it starts out probably 992, 993, probably a year or two after the first, wait, 1022 AD, that's where it takes place, so 30 years after the, sorry, brain fart moment. Okay, so, 1022, that clone awakes. Angus MacFife I, he's King Angus MacFife I, not Prince Angus MacFife I. He also has a, son who's a baby at this point, that's Angus MacFife II. So point is, Zargathrax, his clone, shows up, summons a Soviet nuke from the future, and obliterates Dundee in 50 megatons of nuclear fuck you. So there goes Dundee. But just before Dundee was annihilated, the baby Angus MacFife II was teleported to a castle in space. So fast forward 20, 30 years. Fast forward 20, 30 years. Angus MacFife II, he comes down and is like, wow, this place is a wasteland, because that's what happens when you detonate 50 megatons of a nuke. So it comes down to this wasteland. The Hootsman's he's on the motorbike, he's just going around. He's like, man, no, this is my wasteland. So he gets the help of the Hootsman. He goes to the Knights of Krail, who, amidst this wasteland, they are still guarding the frozen Zargathrax. And this is just a lawless wasteland with a Zargathrax clone somewhere in it. And that clone, he's wanting to wake up the original Zargathrax, so they're kind of the last bastion of defense for the freedom of the universe. So Angus then gets their help, and I should also mention that now that hermit from earlier, he keeps showing up, Ralithor, he shows up. I'll explain him in a minute. Point is, they're like, okay, well, we have the Hammer of Glory, and Frozen Zargathrax has the Knife of Evil. That leaves the Vorpal Laser Blaster Pittenweem. So, to get Vorpal Laser Blaster Pittenweem, they must first go to the Sword Lord, the Goblin Lord. He has a sword on it that will reveal the path through Dwarven Caverns to get to where you're going, to get to the Vorpal Laser Blaster Pittenweem. But the thing about it is, he'll only give you that sword if you defeat him in a duel, and you can only reveal the information of that path if you take its knowledge to the grave. And there's also specified in the liner notes, in the lyric book, you cannot, if you will die instantly if you reveal this knowledge to anyone in the future. So Ralithor takes that information, travels back in time to way before the first album, and now here's where we get into Ralithor, the most complicated character. Because I should mention now, he travels back in time before the first album. We'll get back to that one and travel back in time. So, he is born in the Terror Vortex. Only one Ralithor exists. Across the entire multiverse, Ralithor only existed in Terror Vortex. So he's in Terror Vortex. He meets Angus MacFife XIII. This whole thing annihilates the Death Knights of Krail. that at some point he is teleported to before the first album. So now the Ralithor that they encounter in the first album, that is the one that traveled from Return to the Kingdom of Five after being told he could not reveal the stuff in the future, the path in the future. So he goes back in time, shows Angus, the first album, Angus, the Knight's Grail, all that, how to get through. And then sometime later, original Terror Vortex Ralithor, who showed up, meets up with, I'll just call him Return to the Kingdom of Five is Universe 38B. I'll say, so if I say 38B, just know I'm referring to the fourth album, the universe of their fourth album. Okay, so 38B and original Zargathrax, Prime, so Prime 38B, they meet up, and 38B agrees to be vaporized by Prime to preserve continuity. So that's why, and then Prime, further on later in the timeline, in Universe 38B, he learns the path through the tunnels. But the thing about that is the path through the tunnels, it can't be revealed to anyone in the future, but also you think, well, okay, the Terror Vortex one, Terror Vortex Ralithor, does not know the path through the tunnels, so it's not like a weird paradox where it's like, oh hey, this guy learns the secret, travels back in time, becomes the past version, and then learns the secret again, so where'd the secret come from? No. Terror Vortex learned it for the first time, he goes back in time, is 38B. Cool. 38B is a branch timeline. The original Ralithor continues on all the way through Space 1992. The Hermit they encounter in Space 1992, who tells them the Zargathrax is doing, that's Prime having traveled all the way through the main timeline. There. Cool, so that's Ralithor. He's the most complicated character in the lore. And now we're done with that. Okay, point is, Ralithor is no longer with them, but they know the way through the caverns. So they go through those caverns and go to Strathclyde, the place with the dragons from earlier. They go to Strathclyde, get the Vorpal Laser Blaster Pitwing, because with this blaster, this is all they need. They get this blaster, Zargathrax's clone can't stand against them. They will defeat Zargathrax's clone, and presumably they could also maybe unfreeze Zargathrax and shoot him with a laser and kill him. But point is he's done there. Point is they get this blaster, Zargathrax is defeated, and they're right here. So they get in, open up the chest that the blaster's in, and it's empty. The Zargathrax's clone has gotten the Vorpal Laser Blaster Pitwing now. He now has the means to reawaken Zargathrax's clone, to reawaken the original Zargathrax. And there is nothing that Angus II, Knights of Crail, there's been nothing they can do about it. So, with the blaster in his hands, Zargathrax's clone Alpha 1 tears through the Knights of Crail. So they're defeated. The undefeatable Knights are defeated for a third time in this band's discography. Well, most likely will not be the last. Point is, he tears through that and reawakens the original Zargathrax. So now there are two Zargathraxes. This double wizard, I guess. Cool. So they're going just corrupting thing. Zargathrax's view of liberation is liberating people from the chains of their life. I'm pretty much exactly quoting the album. So, killing people isn't liberating them, but you know what, Zargi, you do you. Point is, he starts doing that. Now, but the heroes, they think, there is one possible thing we could do to possibly defeat Zargathrax. Let's reawaken the main character of the band's entire discography. The Robot Prince of Alcturtul, with eyes ablaze with crimson fire and great Baronic wings, his armor wrought from power steel, heir of the Mecha King. Hero charged with vengeance, unicorns are in pursuit. With the power of Robot Prince, they'll answer now to hoots. Hopefully I quoted that correctly. Point is, they got the Robot Prince Alcturtul. He's great. So they're fighting. Robot Prince Alcturtul, he's going, shooting lasers everywhere, and then he immediately gets stabbed with the Knife of Evil and dies. So yeah, that's his contribution. He showed up, was really cool, did nothing, died. Okay, maybe he'll come back. We'll see. Who knows? Probably not, but maybe. We'll see. Point is, the two wizards there. They got the Knife of Evil and the Laser Blaster Pinwheel, and Angus has the hammer. So they go. They're all fighting with all three of the weapons. So then the sky tears open. The Star-Lords return. They come down and are like, "Hey, can you guys not mess with our three weapons that we hid here specifically so that no one would get all three?" So they go and just erase everyone except for Angus McFife II. Presumably they came down for the Robot Prince Alter Tool, but seeing that he was lying dead on the floor, they went for the next best option, Angus McFife II. So they get him. They take the Hammer of Glory from him, so he just doesn't have that. They're like, "Hey, cool, okay, go fight people on the moon." Anyways, so that's album 4. It goes basically the only important thing that happens is Ralathor. The only important thing that happens for the long run is Ralathor gets the information on how to get through the Dwarven Caverns. Everything else, that universe is wiped out. So now, Angus McFife V. I mentioned him earlier. He discovered space. He also discovered he discovered through some means that Dundee would be annihilated in 1992, when the Hootsman blew up Earth earlier. Yeah. So he knew that would happen. So he travels through a portal in time on the back of a flying unicorn, which that flying unicorns are technically not unicorns, but we'll let it be. He travels on the back of a flying unicorn. I think he was named Sparky or something that came out. He goes to 1992, and that's their discography up until this point. I will refrain from talking about anything from the next album until that album comes out. So yeah, that was a whole lot there, and I was doing everything from this album and this album and this album, all from memory. But the first album was somewhat on script. Everything else. So anyway, so that's that. I've just kind of got. I just have fun memorizing this stuff, memorizing Lord of the Rings stuff. And I figure I was telling someone about Gloryhammer's lore, and they told me I should make a video on it. So here I am. If you've somehow made it to this point, congrats for sitting through 33 minutes of me rambling completely off script. So yeah, that's that. Excited for the next album. I'll definitely be making a video explaining the lore on that once that one comes out and once I can understand the lore. So it doesn't come out till October, so expect a review in December. Yep, thank you for watching.